Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. I'm Reed Price. Today we're going to talk about the Great Bainbridge Cleanup, the beach cleanup, which is coming up again this year. I think, am I right? Is it the 10th year? The 10th year. And we have a number of people here to talk to us about it. Before we do, though, I want to thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island for sponsoring the Something to Talk About program as part of the Bainbridge Island Senior and Community Center. Fieldstone has independent living, assisted living, and memory care communities up on Rolling Bay. They also offer day stay and respite care programs. To learn more or to take a tour or to get treated to lunch or dinner, call 206-594-1010. Ask for Randy O'Neill or Sierra Wood. And the website is fieldstonecommunities.com. I also like to begin by acknowledging that we are meeting on the ancestral homeland of the Suquamish people, the people of the clear salt water, who have been living against the Salish Sea since time immemorial. We are grateful for their stewardship and we are grateful for their hospitality in teaching us how to be better stewards of these lands and waters. Christine Perkins is with us from Sustainable Bainbridge, and this has been a special project that you have helped coordinate for many years. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having us and for hosting to share what's going on this year with our community. It is our 10th anniversary, which is so hard to believe that we've been doing it this long. And I believe it's the 40th for the Ocean Conservancy, which is our inspiration and our global partner, and with their International Coastal Cleanup. So we, as I've mentioned, we've partnered with them. It's so exciting to be part of something that is truly global. And if anybody is inspired enough to and wants to take the time, if you look at their website, they have photos and statistics from cleanups all over the world. And it's just so great to see and so hopeful to see that there's so many people who care. We do partner with them. They have an app, which thank you, Rita, is showing right now. It's called the Clean Swell app, and we recommend that everyone download that before you go out to clean up the beach that day. It is really user-friendly. They've worked on it for years with lots of upgrades and fine-tuning. But what you do is you download it. You can have somebody on your cleanup team who you might want to just call off what you're finding, and they can go through and say, okay, 2 cigarette butts or 1 tire or pieces of plastic or styrofoam. Has categories for everything. And it helps a lot with categorizing what kind of debris is being found where in the world. It helps us to see how much is being found in our part of the Puget Sound. And just scientifically, it helps them a lot with their global research and keeping this international coastal cleanup going. So we really appreciate it when people do download that app.
Could I
Great.
just ask a question?
Sheila
Reed,
Kerwin with a question. Yes.
yeah, Reed, would you put the app website or whatever in the chat, please?
Yeah, I will do that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good question. For example, just last year, and one of my amazing partners here, the Watershed Council, Deb Rudnick, some of you might have seen it in the Tideland magazine, but she listed from just last year that we contributed by collecting over 20,000 items and 2,600 pounds of debris. So just imagine. So it is really helpful to have those numbers. This is really an effort that takes a village. Truly, we have so many partners. Of course, the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. So grateful for all of your help. The Parks Foundation, Parks District, the Land Trust, Kobe, Islandwood, of course, Sustainable Bainbridge. A couple of our programs are involved: Beach Naturalists, Zero Waste, and the Watershed Council. And I do need to give a shout out to Bainbridge Disposal for generously donating the dumpster and disposal of all the waste that's collected that day, which is incredibly helpful. There's one other app that we do recommend that people get, and it's one that you can use year round. And this is a really, really helpful app. It's called the My Coast app. It's with DNR, the Department of Natural Resources. And that's one that not just cleanup day, but if you see a derelict vessel on shore, giant piece of dock, styrofoam, tire, anything that's difficult to remove that you need to report to have removed, you take a picture, you load it, you send it to through this app to DNR, and they coordinate with our local Bainbridge Island Police Department harbor master and try and coordinate removals. So as I said, you can use it year round. So please get that app too. It's a really exciting one to have. So finally, I just want to give a big invitation. Our signups live. We have a Sign Up Genius page on our website, and hope you will join us. There are lots of locations. You don't absolutely have to sign up, but it does really help with kind of keeping track of where people are. Make sure we don't have too many people in one spot. And you can sign up as a team, as a family, as a single person. We love to get all ages involved. So whatever you're able to do, even if it's just along a stream, it helps because everything flows downstream. And in fact, speaking of lots of different ages being involved this year, I'm excited. Katie Mew is going to have a team on a beach. So if you have little ones or grandchildren, please reach out to them. Bainbridge Youth Services is trying to get some of the high school students and middle school students involved too. And there's a special event which Peter will be speaking about later. So everything you can do to get out and help, it's just a really great feel-good day. So thank you.
So as it says on the screen, September 20th, 9 a.m. to noon, and basically wherever you are, you can participate. You don't need to sign up in advance, but they encourage you to do so. And it sounds like one thing that is really different from a decade ago is all these apps.
Very true. It's technology, even as a beach, but it does help make the science collection easier, especially because initially we were trying to do it on paper sheets, collecting data. And we had a few very windy, rainy cleanup days, and that was a little challenging. So this is definitely an improvement.
Okay, well, we have a couple of folks who are participating as coordinator or as partners. Christina Wolf is here from Islandwood. Maybe you can talk a little bit about Islandwood's engagement and obviously a core interest in your organization every day of the year.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Reed, and thanks everybody for inviting me. And so excited to be participating in our 10th annual BI Beach Cleanup. I remember all those years ago sitting around with Deb Rudnick and Christine Perkins and Maridel Gale and Diane Landry, the same people who were putting this on this year. There was, I'm sure, a representative there from Parks and Trails Foundation, from the Park District. We were sitting there downtown Winslow and we said, hey, there's this thing called International Coastal Cleanup Day. It happens every September. And do we want to do something organized about a BI beach cleanup? And the answer was a resounding yes. We actually couldn't believe that we were starting it. We know that property owners and our community, and of course, for thousands of years, and now the Suquamish tribe has been stewarding our 53 miles of shoreline. Like we all knew that. That was a given. However, there was not a one island sort of event, and how great it is that we could dovetail with International Coastal Cleanup Day with the Ocean Conservancy, because we really do get folded into this much bigger effort. We talk about being global citizens, but this is a perfect example of how we can participate. And of course, Islandwood's mission of environmental and community stewardship, right? This is a perfect part of our work for community engagement and education. And of course, that feeling of active stewardship. It's we do a lot of abstract work, right, as part of our values, but there really is nothing like being able to come at a bunch of trash and then clean it all up with your neighbors and haul the sacks off the beach and you're looking at a pristine shoreline once again, the way it should be. One of the big takeaways for me at Islandwood as a participant with my family and with all these nice folks working to put this on has been the conversations I have with people about the BI beach cleanup. There is this um, perspective that a lot of islanders have that our beaches are clean. They don't need this level of attention. Well, we do it anyway. And what I always say is great. And you can continue that. But if you want to help, add to the counts for International Coastal Cleanup Day, please participate on September 20th this year, because that just gets us better and better data about our trash and about where it comes from and what are like the real smoking guns of the trash world, right? We learn a lot by picking up our trash, and our beaches are filled with trash. I went on a hike last week with my family. I came across 25 tires. That's on our beach right now on Bainbridge Island. People are dumping tires, tarps, plastic nylon ropes, things that are falling apart, styrofoam. It's incredible the things we find. And when we all are paying attention, we can all do a better job at stewardship. So, really hope you join us. I know the Islandwood team will be down there at Blakely Harbor. We just had our graduate students arrive, and I just met all of them yesterday on site on the campus. It was so fun. It's a huge, huge group this year, and I know that they'll be showing up at Blakely Harbor, where we always participate because we run a lot of Islandwood programs from that beautiful park. And yeah, that generator building is filled with fireworks trash. Let's get our gloves on and let's get it. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Yes, you mentioned smoking gun. One of the things that I read was that not so many cigarette butts as there used to be. So there
Yeah,
are some changes over time, but
absolutely.
probably a lot of plastic.
Yes, a lot of plastic, nurdles, the little pieces of plastic that fall apart. They're not just plastics we can see with a microscope. We can see them with our eyes. We can pick them up. They wash up on the rack line, and it's easy to scoop them up and get them out of there. We just need to all work together.
So the rack line, are you talking about where I see the seaweed collecting the
Exactly.
high water
E-
mark?
Exactly. That's a great place to find it. When I think about places on the island like Point White Pier, right? I always see trash like pushed up right against that rock wall. So there are certain places where trash just collects on our beaches. It's not right against the water all the time. Sometimes it's further up where there are buildings, lawns, parks, jetties, concrete containment walls, things like that. And that's where a lot of trash collects, and it can kind of be, out of sight. And that's what we can do on September 20th. We can go hunting. It's like an Easter egg hunt, except there's less chocolate and more trash.
And I might mention the other thing that was noted was if you're finding yourself getting closer to somebody's property, probably let them clean their own property. Don't go picking stuff off their lawn. But when you're out there on the beach, we all appreciate anything you can pick up.
Thank
Let's go
you.
to Morgan. Oh, go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, sorry. I just thanks for adding that. We do ask people to be really respectful of private property lines, and we encourage private property owners to just sign up and say we're doing our beach, which is great. But definitely, if someone does ask you to leave, or comes out and really doesn't want you cleaning theirs, you do please, we ask people just to be respectful. So thank you.
Okay. And Morgan Hauk, is that how you say your last name?
Yep, good job.
Great. Tell us a little bit about your involvement in the project.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm here representing Bainbridge Metro Parks. I'm the natural resource manager, and lucky to work with Christina and Christine and Barbara and all sorts of other folks as community partners on lots of different projects, including our Earth Month activities. And one of the things that I've been able to be a part of since I started with the Park District is the beach cleanup. And finding ways to get more folks out into our parks. We have more than 10 shoreline access parks on Bainbridge Island. So we have a lot of beach space. It totals over 75 acres. So gives a lot of opportunity for folks to come out and clean up our beaches. And I think Christina made a really great point. just because you show up in a park and you're packing it in and packing it out, like we know is a respectful thing to do. That doesn't mean everyone knows all of those rules. And also a lot of stuff just washes up on the shore. A lot of the trash that we're finding isn't left by islanders or visitors to the island. They're coming from other places. And there are some parks that just accumulate all sorts of things. You'd be amazed what you can find in some of the high tide areas. One that we've worked really closely with, Christine and all these folks here on, is cleaning up at Holly Cove Park. We partnered together to be able to get a grant to do, Christina mentioned the nurdles, the styrofoam tiny little pieces of plastic. And we were able to work with some of our crews and volunteers to leverage all of the activities that happen every September, but to continue that work throughout the year, which is really important to educate our youth employees about through our Student Conservation Corps, our younger volunteers through some of our after-school programming, as well as our grown-up volunteers when they come out to our monthly work parties. So the way that we participate on September 20th is we'll have supplies available at 4 of our most popular beach access parks. So you can go to Blakely Harbor Park, Pritchard Park, Fay Bainbridge, or Fort Ward, and by the main kiosk in the parking lot, you'll be able to find all the supplies that you need in order to participate in the beach cleanup. So you don't even have to plan ahead or bring anything with you. We'll have gloves and bags and anything that you might need to participate. You can just leave those bags, if they're really full, leave them next to the trash cans, and our crews will come pick them up the next day or the next Monday. And if they're able to fit in the cans, you can just throw them right in there. And we also ask, if you aren't comfortable using one of the apps, you're more than welcome just to call our informational line or email info@BI-Parks with a picture of a larger item that you find that maybe you can't pull off the beach yourself. And we'll coordinate with all of our local partners, including folks from Sustainable Bainbridge, City of Bainbridge Islands, Harbor Master, whoever we need to do our best to clean up any larger items that are found that folks aren't comfortable removing or can't get up off the beach.
So Morgan, is that specifically to items that are located on BI Parks property that you're talking about?
Yes, but you're more than welcome. We are a great point of reference because we have communications with all the folks that would be needed to get larger items removed anywhere on the island. So if you can't decide who to contact, I'm a really great person and I can put you in touch with all the folks that might be able to help you in an area that's off Park District property.
So info@biparks.org. And boy, the idea of being able to show up at one of those 4 parks and just participate and find the equipment there, that sounds like a great family activity for sure.
Easy
But
peasy,
you're
yeah.
certainly welcome to do this, as Christine said, in your own front yard if you happen to be a waterfront owner, or in your own neighborhood. And if you collect enough that you can just throw in your own landfill, that's fine. And it sounds like that's why those apps are helpful, so that we get a sense of what people picked up. I see there are a couple of questions. Barbara Akota, you're first.
Morgan, could you re-list those 4 parks that you were going to make it so easy for people to volunteer at?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thanks.
you're going to want to look for a green bin with the
Mhm.
flyer for the beach cleanup on top of the bin, right next to the primary kiosks in the parking lots at Blakely Harbor Park, Fort Ward Park, Pritchard Park, and Fay Bainbridge. And
Okay,
of course,
great.
you're more
Thank
than
you.
welcome to go to any of the other waterfront parks. You'll just have easy access to supplies at those.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Christine, did you want to add something?
Yes, actually, 2 quick points. I believe, Morgan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't be humble. I think that was your idea several years ago to make it easier by getting bins and supplies out at the parks, which has been just wonderful. So thank you. And then I also just wanted to mention super briefly the grant that Morgan mentioned has been another piece of us working with Ocean Conservancy. It's actually through an anonymous donor through Ocean Conservancy, and anybody who's been to Holly Cove near the boardwalk over the years probably has noticed a lot of styrofoam buried in the vegetation there, and it has been such a problem and a brainstorm project for years, but we finally got this grant and Morgan has spearheaded the whole project since we got it, and just doing an amazing job with finally getting it cleaned up. So thank you.
Yep, it's looking great.
Thank you
Lots of
for
awesome partnerships made that happen.
yeah, thank you for recognizing the do. Thank you, Morgan, for your work. Sheila Kerwin.
Yes, is there Is there a place that we can come down? I live downtown. What about Waterfront Park?
Yeah, absolutely. Waterfront Park, slightly confusingly, is managed by the city of Bainbridge Island, and the park district is a separate municipality. So I know they're more than happy to have folks coming to that park to participate. It's just not one that's under my management.
So, Christine, do you know anything about Waterfront Park? I know that's
Yeah.
obviously a very prominent waterfront location.
It is, and it's so beautiful. So yes, it is actually listed on our Sign Up Genius as one of the locations. I believe that maybe where Kitty Mew is going to try and have their team as well. But yes, by all means, please help clean up there too. If that's a nice walkable location.
Great. I want to now ask Peter Sprung, who has been working with Arts and Humanities, about an interesting follow-on project. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for reaching out, Peter. And why don't you unmute and tell us a little bit about what it is that Arts and Humanities is working on.
Thanks, Reed. I'm going to talk about Arts and Humanities' role in this in a little bit. But let me just introduce myself and explain my background and how I got involved in this really exciting project in the first place. But before I do that, let me just give the bottom line, which is from 1 to 3 in the afternoon following the beach cleanup. The beach cleanup, as folks know now, is from 9 to 12. That afternoon, Bainbridge Youth Services, on which I serve as the board of directors, and a project called Artists Foment, which I lead, is going to be hosting a really fun art making and socializing and dining event at my studio, which is on 8875 Three Tree Lane, Unit 8, which is strategically located right next to Highside Distillery. So if you start to get bored or depressed, you can always step next door for a little pick-me-up or calm me down, depending on your proclivities.
And also right by Barn, right?
That's right. We're adjacent to Barn. So as you're coming to coming towards Barn, there's a little commercial park there. You just turn left, go to the end of that little parking area, and my studio, you'll see, is the last studio, the last unit on your left. So we're really excited about that. I'm representing, as I mentioned, 2 different entities here. First, let me talk very briefly about Artist Foment. Besides being a lawyer, I'm also an artist and have become, since I moved out here a couple of years ago, and have had the privilege of experiencing and enjoying all the natural beauties here, also become increasingly aware and concerned about some of the environmental problems that we've got here on the island, including not just plastics, which people have already talked about, but also some of the creosote problems out at Wyckoff Creosote neighborhood. So I applied for and was fortunate enough to receive a grant, individual artist grant from Arts and Humanities Bainbridge to continue to make a series of sculptures, which will be on display at my studio as sources, hopefully, of ideas for people who decide to come out and are interested in making beach trash related art. Can come out, and what we will be doing is using trash picked up during the cleanup event and using that as raw material to create assemblages. What will essentially be people getting together, brainstorming, and working either individually or cooperatively to create sculptures that hopefully will present to people interesting and creative ways of reimagining how to see and how to handle beach trash. Beach trash is obviously an unequivocally bad thing. It's great that we are, that we do this project once a year, but we would like to encourage people to continue to have conversations and continue to engage around these issues, including most specifically supporting the causes of all the participating organizations. But as far as Artist Foment is concerned, to join together and see if we can't upcycle or ArtCycle, which is a term that I made up, the beach trash.
That's good.
So
That's a little bit like the refashion Bainbridge effort with used clothes. We're going to do it with used trash, well used, unfortunately. So it's from 1 to 3 on 3 Tree Lane, 8875 3 Tree Lane. Look for your studio. 1 to 3 after you do the cleanup on the 20th from 9 to noon. Thank you very much. The last thing I might want to mention is to find the website to sign up. I guess the easiest thing to do for that, Christine, is to go to sustainablebainbridge.org, scroll down, and there's a big happy fish at the bottom of the screen, and that's where I would click to find out more about the cleanup, right?
Exactly. And that page has so much information. So it is lengthy, but it's got great details in the frequently asked questions section. But please do sign up. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Barbara Akota is going to sneak in here with a little question right before we run out of time.
2 quick questions. So, who's the contact person at Kitty Moo? In case I wanted to reach out to them, do you know off the top of your head?
Yes. In fact, I was going to say, if it's okay, I can just send you her email and
Perfect.
contact information directly.
That'll be good.
And Reed, if it's helpful for you to have that, I'll forward that on to you with her email too.
Okay. And do you know her name off the top or no?
Oh my gosh, she is new this year, and I'm so
Okay.
embarrassed to say that I am trying to remember. And
It's okay. I'll put it in the
I'll
put it in the description below the
I want to
video.
say it's Serena, but I'm not positive. So
Okay.
yeah.
And Barbara, number 2.
And maybe this is for Christina, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but do you have any sense in the 10 years that you've been doing this program, what the participation rate of island residents has been? Has it stayed the same? Has it increased? Or do you have those numbers?
Yeah, we do keep track of the participation via the Sign Up Genius that's on the Sustainable Bainbridge web page, and every year we have a debrief where we review that data. I don't know if I could summarize it over 10 years, but I can safely say that participation is definitely increasing. What we don't have a good way of doing, and I don't know a solution. So Islanders, if you're listening, feel free to reach out to us and tell us how to do it better. But I don't know how to actually count all the people who participate that don't use the Sign Up Genius.
Right.
We know that all year long, Islanders are taking care of our shorelines, our forests, our parks, just here and there because Islanders have values around environmental stewardship. But how many people cleaned up trash inspired by the BI beach cleanup in the month of September over 10 years? I don't know. I would safely say it's in the thousands, but we have 24,000 residents and we have an average of 350 participants that sign up on that Sign Up Genius. We'd love to see that number up around 1,500 people. So let's go Bainbridge.
All right. Christina Wolf from Islandwood. Oh, Christine, yes.
Yes, it is Serena. I'm sorry, I could not remember her last name. It's Serena Johnson at Kitty Moo, and she's been really great and being super involved in trying to get little kids connected, which is a great way to start.
Yes, it is. Clean up early, clean up often. Christina Wolf from Islandwood, Christine Perkins with Sustainable Bainbridge, and Morgan Hauk from the Parks, and Peter Sprung with Arts and Humanities. Thank you all for doing the hard work you're doing this year, and I hope it's inspiring to everybody who's listening to participate and sign up and be counted. So with that, I want to thank you for taking the time. It's been interesting, and it's just great how many good things go on around this island. I'm impressed by it all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Me too. Thanks.